When I was 8 years old, I had some friends of mine at school come to me and say, "You're weird and different." And I'm like, "That's not very nice. What are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, you're the wrong color." And I look at my hand as an 8-year-old little boy, and I'm like, you know what? I've never thought about this, but I am a different color. I wouldn't say the wrong color. That's not very nice. But I looked at my hand. I said, "Well, I look different than the rest of my family. They were white, and I'm biracial." So, needless to say, I had some questions, right? So this little 8-year-old boy comes home, and I'm sitting on the edge of the bed with my mom that night, and I really didn't want to talk about it because I was hurt by what they said. But I had a mom that was kind of nosy and in my business, you know. And so before I laid my head down on the pillow, I've told her exactly what happened that day. And so then we have this conversation of I found out at 8 years old that I was actually adopted. So she told me that at 7 days old, they brought me into the family as a 7-day-old child. And as a matter of fact, I was on the same bottle of formula I left the hospital with. My legs were drawn up into my body. I was very malnutritioned. They told me that they actually told the family that I probably wouldn't survive, that I just needed a safe place to come. And what I didn't know is 2 years prior to them bringing me into the home, they had actually had a miscarriage and they had lost a 22-week-old little boy. So God used that pain of their loss to start foster parenting. So they had 4 biological children. Now, this is kind of funny to me. The 4 biological children, 2 boys, 2 girls, was Ricky, Rod, Renee, and Robin, and then there's Steventhen, right? You would have thought if I didn't recognize the color was different, maybe, like I never thought about my name being different. But what I like to say is, people ask me, how did it take 8 years for you to realize your skin color was different, all these things? And I think love goes deeper than DNA. Love goes deeper than color and blood, right? So the reason I didn't know those things is because I was showered with love. So very loving family, but if I'm being honest, that's the first time in my life I ever remember feeling broken. It's the first time in my life I ever remember asking God why. Obviously, why do I have to be the wrong color? Why do I not look the same? But what really hit deep was why would a mother not want her son? I felt like I was thrown away, that I wasn't worth enough to be kept. So that little 8-year-old boy, right, is struggling with that. That's what I'm facing. And, you fast forward middle school and high school, I didn't want to be weird and different anymore. So I've been 200 and none of your business pounds since 7th grade, okay? So I was a fullback and middle linebacker, baseball player. Sports became the way that I could find identity and worth. Like, I'm going to hit you really hard if you want to talk, tell me I'm weird and different. So, my junior year of high school, I actually had a back surgery, ended my football career. I felt like here I am again asking God, why? God, I thought, I was going to be playing in college somewhere. So I actually, because of that, I walked on. I went somewhere I didn't expect to go. I went to a little small school in Bristol, Tennessee, about 4 hours from my hometown. And long story short, I played baseball, earned a scholarship, but I think God had me there for one reason. That's to meet my wife. I'm married up, literally. She's 5'11", and I know I'm sitting down, but, I'm not that tall. But she was from Tampa, Florida, a volleyball player. We met, and we started talking about what would a family look like, if we get married, and do we want to start early? How many kids do we want to have? And she wanted like 16, and I was, anyways, we have 4. But we get married in June of 2006 in Tampa, Florida, her hometown. And very early on, I was a minister working with youth, and my wife was pregnant with our first pregnancy, and 8 weeks into our pregnancy, she had a miscarriage at home alone while I was at church working with our students. I come back home and find her in the floor, doubled over in pain, and here we are both asking God why. And so we've lost our first baby. We have a successful pregnancy, who's our 16-year-old daughter today. Our third pregnancy, 10 weeks in, we have another miscarriage, so we've lost another baby. This time she had to have a DNC, so she had to have it surgically removed, lifeless baby in the womb. And so she went into the doctor's office with a baby in the womb, but came back to me with an empty womb. And for this dad's heart, it just ripped me apart. I went into depression. I'm asking God again. I'm mad, frustrated at God, like why? But in the middle of that pain and that brokenness, we're on our 4th pregnancy. So we lost our 8-week-old, had Isabella, who's our 16-year-old, lost our 10-week-old, 3rd pregnancy, and then we're pregnant with Eliana, who's our 13-year-old. And I'll go ahead and tell you we have another daughter. Notice no guys. It's just me alone, 3 daughters and my wife. But with the 4th pregnancy, in the middle of that pain and depression, just the Spirit of God said, it's time. And I'm like, it's time for what? I need more information. It said, it's time to look for your mom.